Racing Network tonight. We're back here.
Okay.
Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Core Racing Network tonight. We're back here in action for the Virtual Velocity Racing Xfinity Series, and we are at the Rockingham Speedway, playing host tonight. 120 laps on tap for these boys. Last week we seen the Milwaukee Mile make a return. It's been a long time since we've been in the Milwaukee Mile. It's not a track that gets used very often. Usually when you go to a 1 mile flat track, it's usually New Hampshire, but a good race up there. And Milwaukee showed Mike Hasty an early season win, get the inaugural win here for this season. But tonight we're here at Rockingham, and a little bit lighter field out here tonight, so plenty of opportunity for these drivers to get up there and grab their first win of the season. Carl and we're joined in the booth by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, we're here at the rough and bumpy Rockingham Speedway.
Oh, Carl, I had to turn down my force feedback. You know me, I always got to take the car out there temporarily, at least one lap, but... Woo! I had to turn that force feedback down. It was, yeah, it let me know that there was a bump every 10 feet, and it was tossing me around in my rig, and I was about to just let go of the wheel, and but I had to cycle to the black box and get down to that force feedback adjustment button and crank that thing down, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, it's definitely a rough and bumpy track. You know, I'm sure drivers love this track to, you know, be a little bit smoother in some cases, because you have to be careful, and it plays a big part in like how you enter these corners. And you know, it's not a super easy track here either, so I mean, you can get on the gas too early. If you don't brake, you know, you're going to burn your tires up. So some strategy, I think, is going to be in the play here. They do have one fast repair, 2 sets of tires, I think it's 40% fuel, I think I read somewhere. So yeah, there's going to be plenty of pitting and stopping and going and using tires. It's going to be an interesting one here tonight, as it does look like qualifying is wrapped up. So we'll go ahead and I'll bring that up on the screen for everybody. And it's going to be Tyler Hilton out front here tonight with Tim Lee on the front row. And then John Garrett and Hemi Garadini for row number 2. Row number 3 is going to be Brandon Meyer and Eric Blount. Row number 4, Cade Green and Michael Pratt with Len McNeese back there in 9th. So half the field not putting the time in, maybe just want to start towards the back, but a lighter field, so not too much pressure for some of these drivers. It's just the pressure is going to be when they actually take the green.
Well, and a lighter field means that maybe our fearless leader, Tim Lee, out there in attendance and on the front row can finally snatch a victory. I don't think we've seen him at the top spot just yet. I think the only time we've got a chance to interview him was just, you know, talking about the series and the league and everything about it. We don't get a chance to talk to him in the top 3 as much. So there you go. There's my motivation for you, Tim. If you're out there listening, or any fans of Tim Lee out there, we'll see if you can get that 24 up there to the front. A new paint scheme out there for him. A nice looking shell paint scheme. I do like the red, yellow, and white there. Kind of really pops nicely. So we'll see if it can pop his way into victory lane. It is going to be, again, 120 laps out here tonight, so yeah, you really got to pay attention to the car and what the car wants to do, because these bumps are rough to the point where I'm not sure, especially going into 1, if the bumps are what throws you up towards the outside of the track, or if it's the car actually, you know, bottoming out. It's just it's a tough situation going through 1 and 2, but we are racing here at Rockingham, and good start from the field here. Tyler Hilton is going to lead the way into turn number 1. John Garrett already jumping from 3rd into 2nd. Tim Lee's going to file into 3rd. And hopefully these drivers will just kind of settle into a groove. I know it's only 9 cars out there, but 120 laps, you still got to click off a good amount before you really actually need to get to racing.
And it does not take long to burn off the tires. And they're probably about 4 or 5 laps if you overdrive it. So, you know, Tyler Hilton obviously wants to get out there and lead some laps, but patience is going to be a big one here tonight. 1, save your car, save your tires, save some fuel. Already there's somebody loose towards the back. I think that was Cade Green, or maybe who was that down there inside 00.
00. Giardini, I believe. Oh, no, actually, Len McNeese, I believe.
No, Len McNeese is in the Western Auto machine.
Oh, okay, so that'd be Michael Pratt then, yeah, because I didn't see Brandon Meyer not in the field out there. So
gets a little tap there, send him around.
Straighten him out, but the yellow is going to come out as is going to be our first caution here, and certainly not the start that Michael Pratt wanted to have here, as he's got a little wrinkled in back end. They're almost getting turned around, but then getting straightened back out. Hopefully the damage isn't too bad, but bring us under our first caution here. Tyler Hilton leads the way, but only a few laps in, so I doubt, other than the cars that are damaged, that we'll have anybody into pit lane.
Yeah, they only have a, obviously a limited amount of tires, so, it's a big emphasis on saving those tires, managing them in here tonight, and what's going to come with that is backing up them corners. Don't get your car in a situation where you got to put too much input into it and make that left-hand turn and then try to drive it down to the inside. Just back up your turn, or back up your entries, get the car down there to the bottom or in the middle. They seem to like that area of the track, especially exiting, so you're not just smacking the wall here, and you can catch a bump. Definitely, like I said, it'll throw off the weight of the car and send it for a ride. But somebody coming down the pits here early, obviously maybe to take some fuel. Actually, a good portion of the field. Garrett Blount, Garridini, McNeese, Pratt. Only 5 laps in, Carl, but this could be, these races do tend to go green here at VVR, and obviously what I did find out, when you come off the corner and you make your rear unhappy, like you get it sideways and trying to catch it, them tires are unhappy for about a lap before they even settle down. I mean, you're going into corners, you're still trying to catch it no matter what, so definitely got to be careful with these tires here tonight at Rockingham. It's a very tricky, bumpy track, and I can't stress enough how bumpy it actually is. Like I said, I mean, I have a force feedback wheel, and I don't have the oval wheel on, which doesn't help when it comes down to these tracks, but just tossing me around left and right, so over them bumps. And yeah, it's going to be a good one here tonight. Just got to take the time, get things rolling, and they'll do that here. It does look like the 71 might be out.
Yeah, I haven't seen Brandon Meyer out there just yet, and yeah, I mean, it's as crazy as it sounds, you kind of do want that right rear a little bit angry. You don't want it really angry, or it's going to be a long night for you, but you wouldn't mind it just a little bit angry, because if you start wearing out that right front, it's going to be a long run for you. It's just going to push more and more, and those bumps that you head into to turn 1 and even turn 3, it's just going to feel that much worse. It's going to feel absolutely horrible and just bouncing your way straight up to the outside wall. So you don't mind wearing that right rear out just a little bit to keep it a little free in the car. But I do want to send a shout out to all the HRE performance drivers. That's Tyler Hilton, Cade Green, John Garrett, and Colin Altman. As you notice, quite a bit of pink out there. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and they are celebrating it with what they call Pinktober here, as they have a lot of pink inspired paint schemes out there, and you see them all in line there on the inside. We're gonna get this thing back to green here, as base car is off. It's in the hands and control here of Tyler Hilton. We're back to racing here at the Rock.
Yeah, and obviously this race might just be this strand of races here tonight, or not tonight, but for this small season here. It might be a preparation, maybe like what car to choose. Obviously they were driving the ARCA car, and obviously the ARCA car got an update, and it's always the opportunity. Do we want to go to the Xfinity car? Are we going to go back to the new ARCA car? Are we going to stay with the ARCA Legacy car? So I think there's a lot of decisions kind of being made, maybe by how some of these cars drive. I'm not a huge fan of the Xfinity car. Never have been. It always felt really tight, and just had a hard time driving this car. It was like night and day between the trucks and what used to be the A car, now the next gen car. And the next gen car obviously drives different as well. I know not everybody's a huge fan of the current model that they actually use in real life, but yeah, the Xfinity car was not my happy place, but it's the one that's on the service right now.
Yeah, I probably like the next gen car as much as you like the Xfinity car. I do not like it at all. The new ARCA car is definitely fun. I've had a chance to get out with some of the boys and girls from the Pit Road Speed Limit Racing League, as they run the ARCA series on Friday nights, and it's a fun feeling car. You can you can drive the car. It's one of those that kind of works at least for my driving style. And it probably would be the same for you, Jimmy, if you got a chance to get in there. It is, to me, it's a lot more planted in a good way to the track compared to the old ARCA cars. The old ARCA cars sometimes will get up on their wheels and kind of feel not as much like the 87s, but it'll kind of feel a little bit floaty sometimes. Like it's like the suspension is riding about 6 inches too high on all 4 tires. But the new car, it definitely feels a lot more planted. And it's a fun car to get out there and drive if you haven't done so already. But we are here in the Xfinity cars, and yeah, for a lot of leagues, and obviously the core Xfinity series that we cover, it seems like it's just kind of a car that anybody can get into and drive. It may not be the best car, may not be the best handling car, but more often than not, drivers can hop in it, and it's not gonna throw you for too many loops. It's not gonna be all of a sudden stepping sideways, like the older version of the trucks here on the service. I thought were absolutely the best. They were fun. They were just the right amount of loose that you can really have fun. I haven't tried the trucks for quite a while, but I know once they got the one update, it seemed like they were just really would snap loose on you, kind of out of the middle of nowhere, and I haven't really gotten at them and touched them since, let alone hardly any oval driving for that matter, other than with the guys over there at the pit road speed limit, because we're up here broadcasting 5 nights a week. So my racing time is limited to pretty much the endurance races on the weekends. But
I can say that even as much time as we have in the booth, and I mean, we do get some tips and tricks just by watching people out here. I mean, it's it is beneficial. Obviously, you come out here and when you're watching these races, you can see what lines are taken. You can see what average lap times, especially maybe somebody that's in a somewhat the same skill level. Like I went out there and I did some laps, Carl, and I was able to break down into the 24s. They had a 24.6. So when they were out there, obviously running hot laps for qualifying, I think the fastest was 24.5 or something like that. So not too far off qualifying pace. But my big problem with these cars in any oval race, and I don't know why, is the ability to save them tires, which is a big part of here tonight. And the drivers out here, and if this is the car they decide to go to next season, or next year I should say, for their long drawn out season, these drivers might start getting one leg up on some of those drivers that maybe chose to sit out this little short season, or just kind of come in when they can. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting car. It's just not my favorite, and I always have a hard time managing them tires, and I think there's many reasons why I don't do the ovals anymore, but that's one of them, with the tires, and obviously your cautions, and if somebody wrecked you, they're right in your bumper again, and you're already frustrated with that person. So to have them right next door to you just after a spin or something isn't a good combination. Well, it used to not be a good combination for me. I've changed over the past past year. I've kind of settled down. Even in the car, no, I don't get as frustrated. I seem to when I did the Petite Le Mans, and I was in it for quite a long time, and before I even decided to step out, and I probably could have done another fuel tank run, to be honest. I did 4 straight, and able to just kind of, I was patient, just letting cars go by. People that were aggressive, just let them go, because there was just no reason to fight. As those endurance races is, you have to get to the end and to battle it out, 1 hour or 2 hours in, to the point of, putting your car in a situation that to get wrecked or sent into the wall is just not what you need to do. So my patience level is quite a bit higher, maybe not where it's supposed to be for the normal person, but it's a lot higher than it used to be. So I'm kind of proud of that, and I was we were obviously able to walk away victorious over our competitors in the same average of I rating, where a few kind of maybe take their stuff to be, so they can race against lower people, where they could have the ability to win, and not against their own I rating field. But it's definitely a challenge out there when you get doing these long races. But these drivers are going to be out here for, I'm not quite sure in the laps for the fuel. I know 40%, but I'm not sure what that equates here on this fairly short track. Not too long, not too short, but short enough, I guess.
Yeah, I think the only car that I was able to ever save tires on, that I felt good saving tires on, was the way they had the tires set up before, or maybe not the tires, but the pit stop set up before for the GT series. The GT3s, I used to love getting out there and doing at minimum a double stint, if not triple stint. I think I've even done a quad stint on a tires before. But since they've changed the pit stops up, it's not worth really saving tires at all anymore, because you're going to take 4 tires every time you come in, unless you're in a league that uses a little bit less fuel in the car, like like CSRL or the Core GT series. But when it gets to the endurance races, you're pretty much, you're on a full fuel stint. You're taking 4 tires and fuel when you come in there. You're not really even giving it a second guess about it. But out here tonight, it is Tyler Hilton leading the way by a little bit less than a second. The Cade Green, John Garrett, Hemi Gherardini, Len McNeese for your top 5. Eric Blunt, Tim Lee, and Michael Pratt rounding out the field. Looks like we're not going to have Brandon Meyer out here tonight. So 8 strong out here. Looking away the laps as we are on lap number 25 here. Still got about 95 laps left in this race.
Yeah, and they're going by pretty quick. Obviously, being able to get these under green, and this is good, good practice, and to learn to set that pace, and figure out how this car handles, how the tires kind of diminish, and maybe get that much needed practice here for Rockingham. I mean, that's the big thing is you can get out here with many different cars, but at least gives you an idea what it feels like, where that bump is that might throw that car for a loop. So no matter what car you're driving, it's there. You know how that car might handle, and it's something else to look out for. Track knowledge is always great for the drivers, and the list of drivers we have here tonight, we've seen them week in and week out here at VVR, and Tim's continued to trying to provide a little more racing for the fellas and not have like a huge break before the next season. Keep everybody kind of engaged, maybe get some new drivers out there. So if you're somebody out there watching right now and looking for some good racing on a Thursday night, VVR is a great place to be. It's ran by Tim Lee, which is out there right now, currently sitting in P number 7 in the Shell Machine. Just very engaged with his a busy guy for sure, but definitely engaged with his league, keeping things running, holding people accountable, and just overall just a great community for driving here, no matter what they decide to put on the track. But they do have Discord, but you can also find them over there on Facebook, Virtual Velocity Racing, and you can request access. It is a private group, but if you can request access, and if Tim notices your name, or you can message Tim Lee and let him know you're interested. I'm sure he's looking for a few more good core drivers out there to run these great races that they do with whatever vehicle they decide to have. So we're at 30 laps, Carl, and it is now Cade Green out front, and that number 19 has worked his way to the front. So and Tyler Hilton now following back. So maybe pushing the 02 just a little bit harder than he wanted to. Obviously, one of the few of them cars out there with the pink on there for Pinktober. So it's a good thing that Tyler mentioned there for a while. And that's the HRE performance drivers. So Tyler Hilton, Cade Green, John Garrett, Colin Allman, always will be running with some sort of pink on their car here for the month of October.
And shout out to all those out there in Sierra Nation that have been affected with breast cancer in one way or another. It's
cancer in general. I mean, it's not a polite word. It has no boundaries. It has no age limits or anything.
Nope. Doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah, no, it's not something that, when somebody finds out. I was talking to a coworker just the other day, and some of his blood work come back and it wasn't looking very good, so I had to have further tests. So not what he wanted to hear. He's obviously a little older, and that has he's 70. Well, but when I had that news, roughly myself, about over 3.5 years ago now, it was kind of, obviously wife's like, oh, you'll be okay, and that's what you want to think, but there's a lot that settles in that person's mind, and it's just, if you can support somebody and, something small like this to just bring it to, the public's attention is always good. Oh, Tyler Hilton there getting a little bit tight there, so maybe burn them tires up, that front right up just a little bit, just tagging the wall here early on, not too much damage. That's going to allow John Garrett to get by and Cade Green to continue his march forward for a win here tonight, if he can hold on to it here for quite a few more laps. But see, that is the battle on the track right now, and it does look like John Garrett coming up through, so maybe even John, maybe start off a little bit slower, but maybe just a little more patient. We do know that John has some real life racing track experience, so maybe he's used to being able to save them tires fairly well. So right now John is up 1 spot, Cade Green up 5, and Len McNeese down 2. Hemi Garridini holding stout there with in 4th, with Eric Blount in 5th. Tim Lee falls back just a little bit, but Tim could be just chilling back there saving these tires, and next thing you know, you might see that number 24 back to the front, as he did qualify in the front row, so definitely has the ability to put some speed down here and just maybe play more of a long game here.
Yeah, still plenty of racing left to go, and I definitely think Tyler Hilton maybe used up his stuff a little bit as he's starting to fall back quite a bit from the lead, back there to 3 seconds behind right now, as he's now behind John Garrett, and maybe that little brush with the wall, I'm sure didn't help him at all. But it's pretty interesting to see the lines that these guys are taking, and really diamond lined in full effect here tonight, diving it down low into turn 1, drifting it up. All the way out to the wall, and you even see him doing it right here in 3 and 4, because it's really all about the exit of the corners here. Certainly out of turn number 2, it doesn't seem like the banking falls off that much coming out of the corner, but getting onto that backstretch, if you're up towards that top line and you're drifting up at all, it's not going to be good. You're going to be out there into the wall very quickly on the backstretch, and the way this is banked on the backstretch, more often than not, we've seen cars that get into the outside wall go straight down and get into the inside wall right after it. So it's not a fun ride for sure. As looks like Tyler Hilton maybe gathering that car back up here a little bit and marching his way back forward, maybe trying to make us liars and say, you know what, now I didn't wear off my tires. I'm actually saving them a little bit, and now I'm going to try and fight back here, as looks like he is going to let John Garrett go by there. Yeah,
he drove in the corner a little bit tight, got that car in there pretty deep, and wasn't able to turn down as far as he wanted, and that was one of the problems I was having here when I was out there testing. You have to kind of brake so you don't put the car on the wall. So he just went up, and he just wasn't able to get that car turned down far enough before he got in the gas, and you can see right there, you can hear the lift of the throttle as he's trying to go underneath now the 66 of John Garrett, but now he's going to touch the apron. He's going to shoot high, John Garrett, but John Garrett coming down in here on lap number 41, so maybe busting this thing up in 2 pit stops. So we know they can now go at least 42. No, John Garrett was in on lap 4, so but maybe just really wants them tires now, get that short stop out of the way.
Yeah, we got quite a few drivers still out there from the beginning. Cade Green, Tyler Hilton, and Tim Lee have yet to touch pit road, so definitely making it a good long stint here. And I think they've gotten to the third way mark. They've gotten a third of the way through this race, and maybe that's what the thought process is, thinking that this is going to be a 2-stop race regardless. So we're past lap 40. Let's go ahead and come in, get a fresh set of tires, and go after it here a little bit, because nobody up to this point has taken any tires, other than I'm sure we'll see everyone taking tires this time in the pits. I want to thank everybody out there for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe, get you in touch with everything that Siren has to offer. Want to give a shout out to the series sponsors here as well: Goldline Guardians, Fort Worth Screen Printing, and Hilton Crafts and Designs.
Yeah, just the constant sponsorship from those identities of helped obviously the league be what it is today, and brought them on board. And a lot of drivers really do support them by putting their logos on their car, and got them down there in the bottom right-hand screen there, and remind everybody who is the sponsors here for the series. New fresh Xfinity, VVR Xfinity logo there in the top left. If you haven't noticed, it changed from ARCA to Xfinity. So yeah, just a few changes here for the series. We're past that third of the way. We're at lap 45. It is still Cade Green leading the way there in the number 19, enjoying himself, I'm sure. He's going to have a pretty decent, sizable lead over Len McNeese by 5 seconds. Eric Blount is in third, and then Hemi Gardini still sitting in fourth. Tim Lee is back here in fifth. Tyler Hilton now in the pits taking his tires and fuel. John Garrett back out on the track trying to march his way forward. But like I said, even though you got fresh tires, the car's going to feel good. You just can't get overexcited. As you know, you're trying to put 40 laps on a set, and that's what they're trying to do, and you want to get the most out of them. So even if your tires are still new, if you heat up that front right, like I said, the car feels like a pile of poo, man. It just wants to push through the wall, and you're really backing up your corners. You're really lifting probably longer than you need to, and then you find yourself just not driving the line that you need to as well. So right now it is Len McNeese in number 84 out front, leading this thing here on lap number 48. Was in on lap 5, so should be coming in here in just a few short laps.
Yeah, you figure he's got about 5 more laps than everybody else. Tyler Hilton pit on lap number 44. Tim Lee just pit on lap number 45. So probably around the 50 lap mark is when we'll see Len McNeese still out there right now, trying to stretch this thing out. I'm sure he knows as well as we do that cautions don't fly too often here, whether it's an 8-car field like we have tonight, or whether when they got 20 strong out here in VVR. It's very sensible and really good clean racing here at the Virtual Velocity Racing Series. And if you're looking for something to do here on Thursday nights, they got the Xfinity Series right now, and as Jimmy mentioned, already for 2026, they're talking about what they're going to be doing. I think they might be splitting it up into 2 or 3 stints of series for next season. Instead of just making a 1 season long series, it might be 2 or 3 that they're going to be going through. So we'll see see what they got in store for us, as I'm sure we'll be back on board. But coming off of the track is going to be Len McNeese to come and make his pit stop. It's going to put him back further in the field now as leaders going by. Eric Blunt is your new leader with Hemi Gardini in second, but both of them still have yet to hit pit road here for this cycle, as they last pit on lap number 4, and we'll see. Looks like Hemi Gardini taking the lead here for the time being.
Hemi wants a lap left. I mean, it's been a while since we've seen the 17 up front. Always seems to catch, like if something were to happen, usually you see Hemi getting caught in the brunt of it. But bringing that 17 down now, and allowing Eric Blount to stay out. So Eric really stretching the field here. Kind of wondering if he's trying to make it to that halfway mark, Carl.
He can, but I don't see a 60-lap tank in these cars. So I mean, he's certainly going to need less on his next pit stop compared to everybody else. So that's going to help him out there, and then maybe just a shorter pit stop will be what's in the cards for Blunt. But definitely not going to make it here on what essentially would be 1 pit stop. I know he's already made a pit stop on lap 4. He's still not going to make it on just those 2 pit stops, but worth a shot. Stretch it out here. Maybe he gets a break. Maybe we do have a caution, or maybe that last pit stop is so short that he can get himself back up in the mix. It looks like John Garrett is a cycle back out here as a leader once everyone completes their stops. But yeah, Gardini with looks like an unsafe exit on pit road. He's going to have to come right back in with that 17.
Bummer for the 17 as he's trying to wind it back up. That's going to end up putting the 17 probably a lap down if it's not cleared. But it's going to be that's an interesting race. And it's hard to get your lap back here in VVR because there is so many green flags, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that lucky dog, the wave around, everything like that, it's hardly ever come out because there's no cautions to give them a lap back. So I mean, it's one where it's great because there's so many green flags, but in the same case, you make one mistake and your night could pretty much be over. I mean, you may be able to fight, for maybe a back half of the top 10 or something like that, but even if you're a fast car, you make one little mistake and it's going to be a long, long race.
Yeah, long race, and then you got to work your way through the battlefield, as I call it. Not much of a battlefield here tonight, but there is still a little battle out there. We'll go back with Len McNeese as he's on that back bumper of Cade Green and trying to make it work and possibly get back up to the front. But we've seen Cade out in front, and now because he stayed out so long, the undercut really kind of took over there for Cade. Now sitting back there and just got passed by Len McNeese. So Len McNeese trying to have a good run here. He's up 4 spots of the evening and working his way forward. John Garrett's out front at the moment over Tyler Hilton in P number 2.
Good start here for the boys at the Virtual Velocity Racing Series, and we'll see how the second half progresses. But in the meantime, we're going to step away and give everyone out there in Sierra Nation a little love to hear it.
A little bit here. The sights and sounds that continue to go around here, but we did watch the 17 go around, and now joins us out in the audience there. So Hemi, just give us a quick synopsis there. What happened? We've seen you trying to go backwards down the pit, and then just the car won't turn around for you.
Well, out there in the lead currently, we got John Garrett, but, well, never mind. I spoke too soon, as Garrett is back in the pits to make his final pit stop, as is Tyler Hilton. So it's going to shuffle to Len McNeese, who, again, pit on lap number 50. So, you know, he's going to try and stretch this out a little bit further, but we'll see when these last pit stops come to fruition. Michael Pratt is going to be in second place unless he comes in with the 77/00. Either way, it's a double number for Michael Pratt out there, and he is slowing up, going to bring it into pit lane. So Eric Blunt's going to move up into what's going to be second place. He pit on lap number 56, so he's definitely going to be out there quite a bit more as well. Definitely, I mean, we've had a lot of green flag laps, but it's a lot of different strategies out here. When do you want to pit? Do you want to come in and get the short pit, get some fresh tires, come out there and try and run this last thing? Do you want to try and stretch this thing out, take less fuel, make it a quicker pit stop? Do you maybe try 2 tires and see if that can make it to the end? I think for me, it's a little bit too far out for 2 tires. You know, good 40 laps to go roughly in this race, so I don't think 2 tires would be the best bet, unless you're just really having trouble getting that car to rotate and it's struggling for you out there. But this track is very well known for getting wicked loose on the exits, so 2 tires is not exactly kosher to make that any better. But as it stands, we got Len McNeese, Eric Blunt, John Garrett, Tyler Hilton, Cade Green for your top 5, Michael Pratt, Tim Lee, and Hemi Gherardini for your 8 cars out here tonight. Hemi obviously is out of the race here tonight, so everyone out there right now guaranteed a top 7 as it stands. We'll see how long Len McNeese and Eric Blunt stay out there. John Garrett is the first one out there from the pits, as he's got about 1 second lead over Tyler Hilton, but Tyler Hilton is closing on him for 3rd.
Yeah, and Len McNeese has the whole field lapped right now, Carl. So in a pretty good position. If a caution were to fly, you know, to come in and you know, take fuel. I don't. Is he at 35? Yeah, so he'd have enough if he came in now, obviously, and he'd have the freshest tires out of everybody. But here comes John Garrett, about to get his lap back on them newer tires, and gonna get it back around. But he has to go all the way around the track one more time to catch Len McNeese. So Len McNeese, I would say, is committed to this very long run. To hopefully somebody will self-spin, as you can see on the track map there. The Skittles are very few in between here tonight, but they are spread out. There's not much battling going on. I think there's some action right around the 6 of Blount there, as Cade Green goes by now, and now Tyler Hilton getting on the lead lap. So, you know, obviously Blount out there trying to fuel save and stretch this as well. So Len McNeese in for his final run. That allows some drivers to get back on the lead lap there, and Len McNeese will get his tires to run, and we'll see what he can do with the freshest tires on the track here at the end to see if he can do some driving to get up there. But yeah, Garrett back in the lead here, and now Tyler Hilton in second. So yeah, 66 rises to the top here tonight with a nice sizable lead at the moment, 3.5 seconds. And you know, Tyler obviously has been pretty quick here tonight and led a bunch of laps. But now probably comes the question, you know, with these remaining laps, how hard should he push? You know, should he push hard enough to catch up to John? Should he just be easy and just let the cars lay? I mean, you know, what are you doing in this situation?
If I'm looking at the pit stops here, I'm not worried about Eric Blunt behind me, because he's got a pit yet. So the next car that he's got to worry about is Len McNeese, who is 11 seconds behind him right now. So he's got some time to kind of play around with it and maybe put in a couple heaters, see how much time he can eat into to John Garrett, if he can, you know, do any of it for that matter. Because right now it is, you know, about 3.5 seconds in between Garrett and Hilton, and they both pit on the same lap, so they both have the same tires out there. So I mean, he's gonna have to figure out some kind of pace here to reel in John Garrett. So he may be stuck regardless of what he wants to do. So if he can't eat into that time at all, then I think he's just got to just settle in here, maybe try and hold on for second place, because Len McNeese is putting in some burner laps here. He is running some nice laps here to try and catch up to your leaders, as he has 6 lap newer tires than everybody else. Eric Blunt will have the freshest tires at the end, but he's going to be quite a ways back once he comes in.
Yeah, I'll be back just a little bit, obviously, but trying, like I said, trying to stretch that out and hope for a caution. And it could happen here. Obviously with the 84, maybe trying to want to catch Eric Blanc in general, anyways, and try to get back to P number 3. Tyler Hilton obviously sliding back a little bit as that gap has grown now to 3.7 seconds. So going in the opposite direction, as John Garrett has been putting down some pretty consistent laps here tonight so far. They're running right around that 25-2 area, which should be a nice steady pace, letting up, getting in the corner, get that car down, get it rotated, gently get on the fuel or on the gas pedal, and work their way around here. But we're on lap 92, John Garrett out front with Hilton, Blount, McNeese, Green for your top 5.
Yeah, laps clicking away here as you got about 28 laps to go here. John Garrett has got a 4-second lead now over Tyler Hilton. It's kind of ebbing and flowing back to 3.72 right now. So we'll see how this thing plays out for the final run to the checkered, as Eric Blunt now back into 4th as Len McNeese has caught and passed him. And now it sounds like the 6 of Blunt out in their mind. He's just doing a ton of fuel saving, and if caution were to come out, I mean, he'd be sitting pretty nicely here with a fresh set of tires in the pits. But it is still far from over, and I mean, if he's just going for the fuel saving of the race and he can make this thing 64 laps on fuel, maybe that's what he's doing. He's just trying to have a little fun out there. It's certainly interesting.
Yeah, we'll take a ride on board with the 6, and you can see how early he's letting off. I don't even know if he's he's only making it just to the halfway mark and just coasting that 6 around the corners here. A little bit of throttle to get the rear end to come around, and then starting it up there for the stretching. And he'll probably let off right about now, and, which is, you can go about another 200 meters or so with this car, but keeping that car down around, just taking his time. I'm sure his tires are in pretty good shape, just just trying to stretch that fuel as it is right now. And 25 laps to go, and he's still out there, so doing his best what he can. He can say that he's very committed to his strategy right now.
Well, now it sounds like he's kind of going for it. So I don't know. Maybe he's hit his mark that he can finally go after it. But either way, it's a very interesting strategy. We'll see how and where it plays out here for Eric Blunt. But John Garrett seems to be the man to beat. Lead is now stretched out to 5 seconds. Len McNeese, again, chipping away here at Tyler Hilton. It's about down to 5 seconds right now in between Hilton and McNeese. So still not done here for second place. We'll see if McNeese can run him down. Yeah, Hilton was your pole sitter here and is currently in second. The man that started on the outside of the pole, Tim Lee, not exactly having as good a race. He is back there in 7th position and not on the lead lap either. So it's been a bit of a rough race here for the 24. I still say maybe the best paint scheme out there, but sometimes I guess it's more than just looking fast. I still feel like look fast, go fast is where it is. So maybe it's good looking paint scheme, but it's not a fast looking paint scheme. I don't know. Either way, it's not working out for Tim Lee here tonight. But this is again only race number 2. They got a 9-race season here with the Xfinity cars to finish out 2025. So still time to get in here and get in the action and get your name in there. Stake your place here in VVR to get you ready for the 2026 season. I want to thank everyone again out there for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that Siren has to offer. As we got the doubleheader here on Thursday night. Right now we got the Virtual Velocity Racing Xfinity Series, and then coming up here pretty soon is going to be the Core GT Series as well, as they head to Catalunya, Barcelona. So good times here at CRN as we start to get pumpkin spice season for all the ladies out there, and it's Halloween season for my co-commentator here. So this is happy time of year, certainly for Jimmy.
Yeah, I'm a pumpkin spice fan. I don't know why. I just maybe because I am a fall person. My wife's birthday's in October, and if
we're in the trust tree, so am I.
Yeah.
If we're in the trust tree,
I like pumpkin spice. And when I don't, for my coffees and stuff, I like a little cream in my coffee. I'm not a straight black coffee type of guy. And anyways, Chobani makes a great creamer. It's called like coffee cake or something like that. It's got that cinnamon in it, and man, I don't know, like it's not a normal coffee without it. It's not even cheap creamer. So, and I don't even like Chobani. Like Greek yogurt is like not my favorite at all. I tried it a few times. I just can't. I don't like the taste of it. I don't know what, but I'm a pretty picky eater. But yeah, pumpkin spice, cinnamon, anything cinnamon, man, really hits the spot, especially this time of year.
Yeah, especially now. Today we kind of got our first taste of fall as we had baseball practice for my son. Yeah, it's when it gets below 50 degrees, Jimmy. I know you don't experience it that much anymore down there in Florida, but it was a little chilly for baseball practice day. But it felt good, getting out there, get a hoodie on, and get some good reps in there. So
what are those?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I seriously wear shorts for about 11 months out of the year. Yeah, we don't get very many. Like it gets cool down here, like pretty cold, like down in like the 30s and 40s. But we got snow last year. Why, I don't know. But it lasted like 4 or 5 days. A record snowfall last year here in near the Pensacola area in the Panhandle of Florida, and it was fun, for the kids to get out there, and especially my youngest one, never seen snow, and when he was really little, when we bring it up, he'd cry about it because he wanted to play in snow. So finally got his chance to play in snow right here at home in Florida. We do live my home. We live kind of up on a small hill, obviously not the mountains or hills of Pennsylvania for sure for sleighing, but I had, because I was was prior military and stationed all over the place, and was stationed up north in Newport, Rhode Island, and I had sleds that were actually up in the attic. So I was able to break those out for them, let them enjoy a little bit of sleigh riding, and they had a good time, built some snowmans, and then the snow was gone. And I think his taste of that was probably enough for him. Obviously born in Virginia, but raised here in Florida his entire life. So can't believe I've been down here for about over 10, maybe, this year, matter of fact, in December, or right before the 1st of January. I'll be down. I will have lived in Florida for 10 years. Place to call home for sure.
We're coming down to the end of it here. We're under the final 20 laps, and we're actually getting close to the final 10 laps here. John Garrett lead out to 6.3 seconds, and it looks like Tyler Hilton has weathered a storm from Len McNeese, as well as that is an 8.2 second gap right now. So looks like all the positions kind of settling in here, and it would take a caution or something to happen here for any of the positions to change, or somebody get in the wall like that for Tyler Hilton. They want to throw away a second place for a little mistake, especially on a straightaway. But I mean, that's how this track is. It's rough, not just in the corners, but it's rough on the straightaways too. And I know I've been in cars before where you come out from like, okay, I survived turn 2, I'm onto the backstretch, and all of a sudden the car just steps to the left towards the wall, and it makes no sense whatsoever. But it's a tough track to tame. I mean, I know that's Darlington, the track too tough to tame, but here at Rockingham, it is not easy at all. I don't know what it is about these Carolina tracks, Jimmy, but they can wear on your nerves here just a little bit.
Yeah, jumping on board here with Len McNeese in these final few laps as we get to the 10 to go. But we're in the gyro camera, and you can see the movement of the car. Obviously, in the banking, you get what it feels like going around the corners. It's not quite like that, and the driver's seat. You don't quite feel it like that, but the gyro camera obviously programmed to stay level, and you can just see the car just kind of low and down the track. The bumps, the jerking around, and if I go over here to the cockpit here, the red tape right now is over to the left as he's making the left-hand turn, but you can see how much it'll jump around. There's no holding this wheel smooth. It just kind of, the car bounces around and floats on you as you get around here, really putting some angle in these turns here for the final remaining laps to get this thing finished up. And obviously probably tires being pretty unhappy, but John Garrett, I think he's pretty happy where he's at, is able to weather the storm, get out there, use that tires, and probably more than likely, unless something happens, it might walk away with a victory here tonight.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how many victories we've seen from John Garrett. Now we talked about Tim Lee. It feels like it's forever that we get a chance to talk to him. But even John Garrett, I mean, he's, in my opinion, too good of a driver to not have as many interviews as he probably deserves out here. But certainly has been looking good here tonight, and will be a well-deserved interview for him after he gets his win. But he's got 5 more laps to go once he hits the line here tonight. We got Tyler Hilton, Len McNeese, Cade Green, Michael Pratt for your top 5. Eric Blunt, Tim Lee, your remaining 7 cars out there in the field. Him and Garrettini is going to finish out there in 8th. Brandon Mears signed up for the race here tonight, but did not partake. So we'll maybe see the 71 out there next week. But we got 5 laps to go here for John Garrett to get it done. And I mean, all in all, it's been a typical Virtual Velocity Racing race. It's been a quick early caution there, and then green all the way, and it's what we like to see. I know it's probably some of you fans out there wouldn't mind 1 or 2 cautions here to kind of mix it up and get them back together and get some racing here, but these guys are just too damn good for that.
Yeah, the quality racing here, VVR, is above the bar, the average bar. Plenty of green flag runs, from start to finish. A lot of respect for each other when it comes to, where they're at in the track, and if they're a little bit slower, they tend to move out of each other's way, and unless they're battling, obviously. And we've seen a few accidents, but no, there's not really. There's been a couple races maybe they were unhappy with, and maybe were having a hard time taming the track. Once we talk about taming the track, Blount taking a shot there coming out of 2, going before he went down the backstretch, but it just like that, it doesn't take much, and it can really destroy that front end. So, but even Blount obviously trying something different, trying a strategy, still hasn't been in. Here he is with 2 laps to go, but just wasn't able to keep the pace up. The sacrifice of tires or fuel for a 2-stopper here, or still had a 3-stopper. He came in during that caution to kind of help him out a little bit, but yeah, I mean, you got to give it to him. They're able to get this thing here to the end as the final lap is flown in the air right now. So up to John Garrett as he works his way down the backstretch. Got the whole backstretch to himself, and he just needs to glide around through turns 3 and 4 here, exiting 4 now, coming down to get that checkered flag here for the victory here at the Rock. Tyler Hilton will be coming in P number 2, and then back to Len McNeese for that 3rd place finish. Cade Green will go ahead and finish in 4th with Michael Pratt in 5th. As we've seen him get involved in something a little early. Eric Blount will finish in, looks like 6th, and Tim Lee in 7th. Hemi Garrettini out there. Thanks for joining us out there in the crowd after you finished your race here tonight. We'll finish overall in 8th, and hope to see Brandon Meyer out there next week, as he didn't take the track. But we've seen Brandon out there run some pretty decent races, so it's always good to see his name on the docket at least. So, and I hope to see him here soon. But we'll get the top 3 up here in the booth, and we'll see how everything went for him, and then we'll call it a night here at CRN. At least
I want to thank everybody out there again for tuning in here tonight. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. I want to thank our sponsors here once again, Goldline Guardians, Fort Worth Screen Printing, and Hilton Crafts and Designs for all the help that they do. We'll get our top 3 here in for their interviews, and I got to give it to Eric Blunt. Maybe called got the fuel saving from Joe Sullivan earlier on the week on Tuesday, and said, you know what, hold my beer. I can do even better. I don't know how he got 64 laps out of that tank of fuel, but my word, what a long stint for the sixes. He did make it on 2 pit stops. He pit under caution early on, and then pit on lap number 56. That was it. But we'll get our top 3 up here in a moment, and actually looks like they're all in one spot there, so we will. Yep, there we go. All right, so we'll get the top 3 in here, and we're going to start off with our 3rd place finisher. Jimmy, why don't you take the 84, if I'm driving in the right spot here, the 84 of Len McNeese.
Hey, Len, Jimmy, and Carl up in booth. Cappy.
Hey, how y'all guys doing?
Oh, not too bad. It's good to get you up here in the booth. Finally get a chance to talk to you after a race. And, obviously a lighter field here tonight. A couple cautions are kind of early, but in VVR fashion, ironed all that stuff out, went green the rest of the way. Found yourself in a nice spot here tonight for a great finish, up 5 spots, biggest mover of the race as well. So I want to say congratulations, but just kind of get your side of the story, man. How was it out there at the good old bumpy Rockingham?
Very bumpy. I was just trying to save tires the best we could, and I just didn't have the same strategy that John and Tyler had. They just out-strategized us there, didn't they?
Yeah, just a little bit, but I mean, overall, you got a chance. You led a few laps there as well, so I mean, it's just good to, like I said, good to see the 84 out there and get a chance to get a great finish. And even though with the lighter field, this is good practice for these cars. I know they can be a handful, and I'm not sure what you guys are running officially yet for the 2026 season, but it's good to see you out here and get a good run in here tonight for this short 9-week season. So we want to say congratulations up here in the booth, everybody out from everybody else out there as well, and give you some time for any shout-outs they might have on that 84 Western Auto Machine.
Hey, well, I appreciate that, guys. I know it's a smaller field than that, but it is good to get to come up here and talk to you guys every once in a while. So that was nice. This part's nice. So, but now I don't thank Tim for putting this league on, and you guys out there putting a good broadcast, and all the admins over here that helps out. I hate it that it was a small field tonight, but it was still a good racing.
Definitely great racing, great to watch, and like I said, that much needed time in the car and on track. So again, congratulations, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
All right, thanks, Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
That is your 3rd place finisher here tonight, the 84 of Len McNeese. 2nd place tonight is going to go to the pole sitter here of Tyler Hilton in the 02. Tyler, you obviously had a fast car. You got that thing on the pole here tonight, but it seems like maybe the strategy just didn't work out your way. I mean, you had the same pit lap as John Garrett there on lap number 80, but he already had a nice little comfortable lead and just kind of stretched it out from there. What do you think went wrong here in your race to get the win?
Yeah, definitely a good night still for HRE performance here. But that first run, John, he I think came in about 2 or 3 laps prior to me, so he got a little bit of a stretch that way. I started to catch him on that second little run there, and got a little too excited, a little too high there, and got in the wall, kind of crinkled up the right side a little bit. Lost a little bit of ground because of that, and then the tires kind of evened out, and he was able to pull away a little bit. 3rd stop, got back out there, and kind of same thing, just kind of floated up there and grabbed the wall again, and that's all she wrote for it. But was at least able to bring home a 2nd place, and glad HRE Performance got to victory lane here tonight with John.
Yeah, I mean, with you guys constantly going so many green flag laps here, I mean, to get a good finish, you have to have a good car and a good consistent run the entire time. So coming away with a 2nd place here is no small feat.
Oh, for sure. Even with the smaller field that we had tonight, this was a hard fought battle for all of us. These are some really talented drivers out here. I do think the Xfinity car kind of suits us a little bit more for at least our team and our side. And I think all 3 HRE cars led tonight. I think Cade, John, and myself. So, yeah, really, really happy about that. And yeah, it's fun. This is just a cool place, man. It's that 1 mile bumpy, kind of all over the place track. It's a lot of fun getting around here.
Yeah, well, you guys enjoy it out there. I'll stay up here in the nice safe booth and stay away from those bumps, especially in turn one. But
Oh, come on down.
you talk about HRE. You guys have some special paint schemes on for this month. Why don't you give us a little insight on the paint schemes?
Yeah, definitely. So this is kind of a tradition that we had from originally when we were Falcon way back in the day to Team Rev Sport to now with this newly formed HRE Performance. We always do a Pinktober deal. So we always like to raise awareness for breast cancer. Have people go out there, get checked. It affects both men and women, but we like to go out there in the month of October and kind of brighten the cars up a little bit. And like the side of my car says with Gold Line Guardians, inspire hope for those that have it, that there's going to be a better tomorrow. So it's definitely cool running these colors, and it's even cooler when we can get out there and get out front and get the win and bring this kind of awareness out there. Even from a sim aspect, that's a very real life thing that people are having to go through. And if we can bring a smile to some of those people's faces, then we've done our job.
Well, you absolutely brought a smile to my face watching that 0-2 buzz around here tonight. I thought you had a chance at the win, but John Garrett was just a little bit too much for you. So either way, congrats on the second place. Before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
And I appreciate it. And if I'm going to lose to anybody, I will say that losing to an ARCA Menard Series driver in real life, that's the one to lose to. So I'll take that anytime.
No excuse.
Right. So, Gold Line Guardians, definitely appreciate all that they do. That's an organization that I founded for public safety officials and specifically 911 operators across the nation. Again, we inspire hope. That's what we do. It's a great organization. Definitely want people to go out there and check that out. John, he has Fort Worth and Athens screen printing on his car. We got Cade with Everglades Equipment Group and Diamond G. Chevrolet, you guys at CRN, Tim with VVR. So good group, good sponsors, good drivers. It's good times over here.
Absolutely. Well, once again, congrats on the second place here tonight. We'll let you go celebrate when we'll see you next week. See if you can get that one spot better.
I will definitely try. So I appreciate you guys.
That is your second place finisher here tonight. The 0-2 of Tyler Hilton. Top spot here tonight is going to be the number 66 of John Garrett.
Hey, John, it's Jimmy Carl up here in the booth. So I was slightly distracted here for a moment. But you came away tonight with the victory here at a very difficult track with all the bumps and the corners here as the car, trying to get it down and around there. So give us a walkthrough of your race here tonight.
Yeah, going through practice, I was overdriving the corners severely, which I guess is easy to do. And went and watched some laps that Tyler had made. He was top of the board, so figured out to slow her down a little bit. And then qualified decent. Started off the race trying to conserve tires because this version of the track, it definitely eats up tires pretty quick. You're probably a second and a half or 2 seconds off by the time you get to the end of the tire run. So, there for a while we were 1, 2, 3 at HRE Performance, and then I was trying to pit like 2 laps earlier than I did, but Tyler was on my inside and I couldn't get down. I really didn't want to announce what I was doing, so I kind of let him go and snuck in the pits there. Got my 4 tires. I knew a couple laps, I could build 2 or 4 seconds there, and after we went through that pit cycle, everything went good for me. I like this track. I like this car. It's got power, so you can gas your way out of things. You don't have to be so precise on your line. You can, just kind of manhandle the car some. And I kind of found a high line there for a little bit, and it was working for me. Yeah, it was just a good race for me. I hate there weren't more cars there, but a win's a win. I'll take it.
Yeah, a little lighter field tonight, but always the competition here with VVR is always pretty stout, and in VVR fashion, obviously the long green flag runs. So yeah, it's a little different car for you from all that the long season throughout the year. You guys are in the ARCA car, so I don't know if you guys are still trying to decide what you're running next year. So kind of looking forward to see what you all decide to choose for the 2026 season. But this short little season here, you get yourself a victory. So from CRN and everybody else out there, obviously we want to say congratulations and also give you some time for any shouts you may have in that 66.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I was actually thinking of, I kind of scraped the wall a couple of times. I'm like, I wonder if they've got the camera on me and what they've got to say about that.
I'm sure it's in there somewhere.
So, what are they going to say about that? But there were 0 X's, so it wasn't terrible. Not like my teammates, who I think they knocked the wall down and they killed them. But yeah, I got to thank my viewers here at on Twitch, John T. Garrett on Twitch, and my sponsors, Fort Worth Screen Printing, Athens Screen Printing, the Camping Crew, and of course my team, HRE Performance, with Tyler Hilton and Cade Green there, and of course Tim for putting this league on. It's a top league in my book. I've run a lot of leagues, and it's well organized, and they take no BS, and they do a good job of running this thing. And of course, y'all do top quality work on your broadcast.
Well, we definitely appreciate the shout outs there, John. And yeah, and if anybody else out there is a Twitch viewer or Twitch, you jump around Twitch like I do. I know I've gone over there and followed John, so go over there, give John a follow, help out his viewership. Obviously, it's much appreciated for any hard work that a streamer does when they get a chance to do that thing. But for many, we want to say again, congratulations there to John, and we want to let you go and celebrate with your friends and family.
All right, appreciate it.
Yes,
See y'all next week.
Yes, sir.
That is your winner here tonight, the 66 of John Garrett, getting it done here, had the right strategy, the right calls, and the right speed, and that car here to tackle Rockingham. That is going to do it here for tonight. As next week for the Virtual Velocity Racing Series, we're going to head to Talladega. So we go from this rough and bumpy track here to the big old wide open Talladega for 100 laps. So hopefully you'll join us out there next week. Well, for myself and Jimmy here from the Rockingham Speedway, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.